Good morning everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to tell you about the orchid show I've been to and show you all of the orchids I got there. I have quite a few newcomers, so I have plenty to get through, so let's just get started. And it starts with these three here in the front. So these are little seedlings, they're baby orchids so to say. And I got them because first of all they were cheap, it's much cheaper to get baby orchids. And second of all because they are just so darn cute. So this is a Angraecum leonis and it's also called the palm orchid, and I think you can tell from the shape of it why. It really seems to kind of like fan out like a little palm. And these little succulent leaves are just really cute to me. They don't open or anything. It is not like these are the unopened form of the leaves. As you can see, there is no, say, line on the top where they could still open. It's all closed. So it really is just a sickle leaf like this, and it stays that way. They can get a little bit bigger. There are two variants. One of them is from Madagascar and one of them is from the Comoros Islands. And the one from the Comoros Islands tend to be bigger than the one from Madagascar. Now, judging from the fact this one's tiny, I don't know. It could just be because it's a seedling, right? But I'm hoping it's the Madagascar kind because in that case, it is usually smaller than the ones from the Comoros Islands. Comoros Islands tend to be larger. And the tag doesn't help give much of a clue because it says both. And these three all came from Orchid, by the way, which was one of the stands that was at the Orchid show. Then next to it here, we've got a little baby Renanthera monarchica. And the Renanthera monarchica, I've liked the blooms of for a while. I think the blooms look absolutely amazing. I am a little bit worried about giving it enough light. I think this is one of the higher light orchids. I need to research it a bit more. But at least now when it's small, I have plenty of time to figure out what it likes and everything without having to get frustrated about not seeing any blooms. And I took this one because you can see a good root climbing all the way out of the pot, so at least I was certain this one had some roots down there. The Renanthera monarchica, it hails from the Philippines, so it's used to high temperatures and lots of light. And then next to that we've got the Bulbophyllum frostii. And this one I actually got because Hugo asked me to, kind of. Well, I kind of asked him to as well. Okay, so what happened is I asked him to pick his favorites from the show. And then I wanted to buy that one because I want to have one orchid that, I could kind of pretend was for him, So he gave me this one because this is the Bulbophyllum frostii, as you can see from the tag. It's from Vietnam. And the reason he likes this, he tends to like bulbophyllums in general because the flowers are weird, but the main reason he likes this is because the pseudobulbs are so round and plump and cute, and that apparently is the most important thing for him. So I've got a little frostii here. The flowers are also very, very cute actually. They look like little shoes. So I'm going to call this one my Vietnamese shoes. It's going to be cute. So those were the three babies I got from Orchid, and I did actually get a lot more babies from Orchid, but they're quite a lot smaller. Here we go, I've got what they call orchid packs, or actually, flasks with tiny little baby seedling orchids in them. Each pot contains about 4 seedlings, and I'm extremely excited to have found these at the Orchid show because I've been looking into getting flasks for a little while now because at some point I want to make my own hybrid. But in order to make your own hybrid, you have to be able to bring your little seedling through lots of different stages. And to me, it seems like a huge waste to wait so long for a seed pot to mature, then send it off to a lab to, be plated and replated and everything else, only to then get it back, to unplate it, put it into the real world, make a lot of stupid beginner mistakes and lose it. So these are, so to say, my practice seedlings. I'm going to try and deflask, and hopefully as many of them will survive as possible. And I'm super happy to have found these because these are all novelty hybrid Phalaenopsis, which is exactly what I'm planning to hybridize, that and potentially Catasetum. So yeah, this is really cool. I'm very happy to have found this. In fact, I'm really happy to have found this one especially because I tend to really like the Trespass C1 crosses. And they happen to have this one with the LD Bearskin King. So I'm really, really excited about that one. This one, they just both looked really cool to me. And I know about the Dragon Tree Eagle and it had good sized seedlings. I think these were the biggest ones I'd found in any of the orchid packs. So I decided to take this one as well. And this is a cross with the Mock Choi Yu, which is one of the favorite orchids I have in my collection. So I was curious to see what its hybrid would look like. So as I said, each of these little boxes, these little flasks, contain 4 different orchids. So I have 4 chances for each of these to have one survive, or hopefully more of them, and then I can see, you know, which one looks best, which one grows best, which one has the biggest flowers at some point. And I don't know how long it will take for them to become flowering size. Yeah, I hear different things from different people. Some people have Phalaenopsis, novelty Phalaenopsis, which are flowering size 1 year after coming out of the flask. Others say 3 years. So I'm gonna guess somewhere between 1 and 3 years, which incidentally is also what they said about these 3 babies here. They said they would be flowering size in about 2 to 3 years. So I have a little bit of a wait ahead of me, and then potentially I have 12, 13, 14, 15 new flowers potentially, if they all start blooming after 3 years. And I only got 1 mature Phalaenopsis this time, and that's the one we see back here. I'll bring it out to the front. And this is another Tetraspis cross. It is, let me just get the tag for you. Phalaenopsis samara crossed with Tetraspis C1. And I recently lost my, well, I still have it in the faint hope something will happen to it. But my Bellina variation Alba crossed with Tetraspis C1 kind of died recently. And I've been wanting to replace it. And I haven't really made any orders online yet, but I saw this one at the show and I figured it was pretty close to the other cross. At least I expect the same kind of like really pink flowers, especially judging from the color of these buds. So I took it with me. And it actually started opening yesterday evening, and it has opened a little bit so far. And yes, indeed, we've got a very deep pink-purple color, which I quite like. I don't detect any scent yet, but I'll probably have to wait for it to open a little bit more and catch a little bit more sunshine. And then maybe tomorrow or the day after, I'll be able to smell something. I look forward to it. And it has 2 spikes actually. So you have this one here, which is still developing here. And back here we have another spike hiding underneath the leaf, which is making a little bud over there. This one doesn't seem to be making a bud. I think it might have fallen off or something, but there's a little bud forming over there. So we have lots of blooms to look forward to in the future. And we have lots of roots in the pot. It looks like a very healthy little individual. So that's the 1 mature Phalaenopsis, which I got from the Orchid Show. And this one was from Bloemenjanke, which I'd never ever heard of before. It's, I think, another German, .de. It's another German nursery. I'd never ever heard of them before, but they were very helpful. They told me a lot of stuff. They were nice and had a chat with me. And they clearly have nice crosses. Now last and certainly not least are these 2. Now I'm really excited about these 2 because these are, as you can tell from this bloom, Masdevallias. And these are my very first Masdevallias. I have never had a Masdevallia before. Mostly because I was always told they were very cold growers, which I still hear. I haven't heard anything different. But that always kind of scared me off as a beginner. And now I kind of figure I want to give it a try. So I have 2 of them. This is a no ID hybrid, but I took it because how pretty are these blooms? They are so incredibly orange and so big. Well, I think they're big compared to the other Masdevallias I saw. And really nice and open. I just really like this one. And here we have a species, the Masdevallia coccinea. I'll show you the tag. Which I've heard is very heat intolerant. Apparently one of the least tolerant, which I wasn't fully aware of when I bought it. So that's going to be fun. I have a real challenge ahead of me. Yeah, I'm going to have to find ways to cool it off with things like evaporative cooling and just putting it next to an open window or something like that, because it does get quite warm here. So I am kind of expecting this one not to make it for too long. It's at some point it's probably going to die, but I really want to try it. I want to try out the challenge. I want to see if I can find something inventive to get around the problem. I know lots of people say you can keep them in wine coolers, but honestly I don't have a wine cooler and I'm not sure if I'm going to buy one just for Masdevallias, so I have to think about that. This one, the orange hybrid, it should be a little bit more heat tolerant, but not very either. It's still a Masdevallia, so I'm going to have to find some nice tricks to cool this one down with as well. And we'll see how that goes. Actually, on the camera, it looks a little bit more like a redder orange than in real life. In real life, it's more yellowish. I think on the camera you can see around here this color. That's more accurate for most of the bloom. It looks really quite pretty. And it has another bloom here at the back. Here we go. And interestingly, the other one has like a little antenna that stands upright. This one does not. This has a little antenna that kind of flops forward. So I don't know which is the standard for this plant, but we'll find out. And here we have another bud forming. So we have blooms to look forward to for a little while from this. And I really like this one in particular, just because look at this healthy looking clump of salad leaves almost. It just looks really cute to me. And it's glossy and there's almost no spots on it. It looks like an extremely healthy plant. And there's quite a few leads and new growths growing on. So you have that one down there. Got that one down there. Then you have another one over here, which I don't know. I don't know how to tell whether they're going to be flower spikes or new rows. I think this one might be a flower spike because it looks quite a lot thinner than this one. I'm not sure. So potentially another spike over here and another growth over here. So I'm quite looking forward to that. I really like the way these plants look, you know, just in general, even without flowers. This is still a clump of grass. It's just super cute to me. So I'm very happy with it. The Coccinea is a bit larger than the hybrid that I have, and it doesn't look quite as good. Probably is testament to his less heat tolerant attitude. You can see, for instance, over here that there's some damage at the end of leaf tips, and you see this on a few leaves. But all in all, it looks healthy. There's lots of growths. I have not found any new growths yet, but then again, I am very inexpert with Masdevallias. As I said, these two are my very first ones, so I'm not quite sure what I'm looking for yet and where to really look for it properly. I don't even know how to really determine what the leading growths are in a clump like this. There's no flowers to show me the way like in the other one, so no idea. But there's plenty of little existing growths already. It's a nice clump of grass, and you can actually see the roots in the pot quite decently. So it has a healthy root system down there, and I'm just going to have to do my very best to keep it very well watered and as cool as I possibly can. Okay, it's super difficult to get all of the plants in one shot right now. So I've opted for this really weird angle where you kind of look up at the Masdevallias. I couldn't get the flowers in there, they're too high up. But I'm super happy with the haul. I have lots of new things to try. I've got a bunch of seedlings, which I've never had before. I've got 2 Masdevallias, which I've never had before. I've got an Agracum, which I've never had. I've got a Renanthera I've never had before. So all things considered, I have plenty of new things to try after this little haul. I'm very, very excited about that. I'm also excited to see in a few years, hopefully all my orchids will survive, and I'm excited to see how these little seedlings down here turn out. Oh, by the way, does anyone know these bags? They're kind of like put around the flasks. Am I supposed to keep those on? Are those part of keeping it like sterile, or can I take them off? Because it does make it a little bit more difficult to see the progress of the little plantlets inside. So let me know if you know whether I can remove the little plastic bag or whether it's an integral part of the system. It was lots of fun to be at the orchid show. It was my very first orchid show ever. And it was coincidentally exactly on my birthday as well, on the 25th. So it was just a great way to celebrate my birthday. It really was. There were lots of different stands selling different kinds of orchids and like lots of different kinds, as you can tell from the selection I have here. And I think they were from all over the world as well. There were quite a few German nurseries, but there was also, I think, Ecuagenera from South America. I forget which part of South America, sorry. And there was also, I think, a Taiwanese nursery there. And it was really great. And they also had a exhibition part, which was, of course, full of orchids that were not for sale. But there were some really, really beautiful specimens in there as well. So I really enjoyed going to the orchid show in Bern. It was fantastic. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I'll keep you updated about the progress of the seedlings and the progress of the Masdevallias. I'll probably make a video at some point about my setup for the Masdevallias, what I'm trying to do to keep them cool, and I'll see you next time. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, go ahead and give it a thumbs down. Please, if you give it a thumbs down, also leave a comment for what I could do better in the future. That's a lot more useful for me. And if you have any other suggestions, such as an ID for this beautiful Masdevallia, or maybe just, a tip about how to deal with the seedlings, or whether this bag is necessary or not, please do let me know in the comments down below. And if you'd like to see more videos from me in the future, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you all next time. Bye, guys.